Yes. We can get running down the wrong path, turn the right path. Boom, 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 boom. My hearing aids that ain't good.
Yes, I'm glad
We got music today.
For the grandkids.
Testing, testing, testing. Does that sound okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no, thanks. People are still not paying attention. It's still they try to jerk it down and correctly come across and we did really well this year.
Like I
Just
don't,
never packed.
I'm not a student, so.
You see much better through the camera.
Call the City of Goldbar City Council meeting for Tuesday, January 24th to order. Please stand for the flag salute.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to note that all council people are here, and John White, Laura Kelly, staff, and Sergeant Casey here for the Sheriff's Department. So we will move right along to what's next. Agenda approval, we need to add an item to the agenda, item 6 under new business, which would be FEMA update, and that's the information that is put in your packet. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the. We can't approve it.
I'll make a motion that we approve the agenda with the amendment.
Second. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Okay, go to the mayor's report. All I have tonight is you have the quarterly there in front of you. That is the what, rural, what's the name of the organization? What's that out of? Evergreen Rural Water. Goldbar had a big article in there about the excellent job that the staff did on Thanksgiving Eve. So that was nice to see. And I don't have anything otherwise that we do. So we'll move on into staff reports. Laura, do you have anything?
We received the bias upgrade on, I think yesterday, and, we're getting used to the new system. And that's all I can say on that.
So this will be, I guess February will be the shakedown cruise month, huh? Okay, John? No report. Okay, we'll start with the council people. Oh, geez, yeah, darn there. Always forget that.
That's all right. I don't have anything to report today, but some things that we're looking at. We did have a death near town that we're looking into, unexplained causes that we're trying to investigate now. It's significant because it was such a young one, 18-year-old woman passed away at home this week, and we're looking into that. And other than that, we don't have a whole lot going on here yet. So,
Okay, that's good news.
yeah.
Bob, we'll go to council. Chris, no report? Maybe? Well, up to you, Ken.
Yeah, so
Take up the slack.
Bob and I did attend the elected officials council, elected officials, so it's Washington City's elected officials meeting, and I found that to be quite interesting, is quite beneficial. We had a discussion before I left as to whether that was essential. I still don't know that it's essential, but I did learn a lot of things, and it was really good to go there, and it's not just for newly elected officials. They encourage people to come back, and I may do that again. But that was worth my time, I think.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move on down to any citizen comments. Step up, name and address. All right.
Ralph Wood, 309 First Avenue West in Gold Bar. Why can't you publish the agenda on the city's website? I came here,
It is on the city's website.
I came here for the planning commission meeting this evening, being the fourth,
Oh,
We
there-
don't have a planning commission anymore.
we don't have one.
no. This meeting was, what, continued from last week because of the weather problem. So,
I don't have any objection to a meeting, I was just expecting a different one. Has there been any progress made on the defining the floodplain areas for the?
we will talk about that. That's the item 6 we added. And the answer to your question is kind of sort of yes and no.
Sounds fascinating.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Is this when you wanted me to talk?
Oh, yeah, why don't you tell what's going on?
Okay. Debbie Koppel with the Sky Valley Chamber of Commerce, and I'm here to invite all of you to the 14th Annual Sky Valley Community Awards Celebration. For those of you who have never been before, it's a wonderful evening. It's very inspirational. It's about honoring the people in each of our communities in the whole Sky Valley who really make a positive difference. These are the people who make our communities special and make them what they are. So it's a really exciting evening. Each of the nonprofits and the community service organizations choose someone from their own group. For example, besides the Chamber of Commerce, I'm also the president of the Sultan Education Foundation. And we are honoring one of our community members who has been supporting the organization since it was founded in 1993. But he's never held an elected office, but he has been volunteering actually since, well, for 25 years. But it's an amazing story, and so we're honoring him. But each of the groups is choosing somebody, and as each of the council members and the mayors already know, they have read stories about each of the people who have been nominated. So for the foundation, it was Darnell Koenig. And they've read all these stories about all these wonderful people, and then they each get to choose one person who they think is their selection for Citizen of the Year. It will be Sky Valley Citizen of the Year. So they will vote secret ballot. They don't talk to each other or no. And then Sultan's City Council and Mayor will also vote. Whoever the winner is then will be announced on the evening of the February 4th. A free potluck dinner. I mean, this is a no-money event. It's just free for the community, and it's to celebrate what makes the Sky Valley such a special place to be, and all of the positive people who are making a difference. There are always a few negative people in every situation, and you just have to kind of, most of the time they never last. And it's the people like Darnell and Elizabeth and the people that you are reading about this evening who are the ones who stay the course, make a difference, and inspire the young ones and the next generation to step up in your place and take it over and make this place even better. So that's what I'm here to invite you for, too. If you can take one, pass them on. It's a wonderful evening. It will be at Sultan High School on February 4th, which I just learned is Ray Coleman's birthday. So we'll have a little birthday celebration on top of this. And another exciting event we'll be celebrating that evening is the Winters Lake Ladies Club, which people who do not live on the Sultan Basin Road probably have never heard of, but it is the oldest community service group in the state of Washington. They're now celebrating, a private one. They're now celebrating their 77th year of community service, and they started all those years ago at, up on the basin when back in the day it was a very difficult trip to get from town up to the Sultan Basin Road. And there were a lot of loggers and miners and bachelors up there, and there were just very few women, mostly family women. And so they adopted everyone up on the hill, and they took care of them when they were sick, and they mended their clothes, and they made sure that they had food to eat, and they just took care of each other. If someone had a baby, they'd help them along, and it was just, that was how it started. So we'll be honoring the Winters Lake Ladies Club that evening as well. So I hope all of you can come, and we'll just make 2012 best year ever in Sky Valley. Thanks.
One comment. comment, the person who is nominated for the Gold Bar Community, it's a city thing, and there's two ways we can do it. I can sign it as mayor, or if the council wishes to do it as a full council, I can sign it for the council. So how do you guys want to do it, for the council?
It can either be the Mayor's Community Service Award or the City of Bull Bar's Community Service Award. Whatever you like.
3 seconds to make up your mind.
I like the city idea, but.
I'd like to be part of it. I think it'd be fun.
Okay, well, that's consensus, that's how it will be, it'll be the city of Gold Bar
Thank you.
Board. Thank you very much. Okay, any more comments? Then we're moving right along. First item of new business is the contract extension with Allied Waste. Scott Mullen is here from Allied Waste to answer any questions. We have to extend it by March 1st, which means, probably the next council meeting in February. You've got the contract and you've got his email, so why don't you step up here in case they want to pepper you with any questions?
Sure, yeah. Good evening, Scott Mullen, Operations Manager for Allied Waste Services. Your address? 21619 82nd Avenue Southeast in Woodinville.
Fantastic.
Close, but not quite here.
Okay, this is a continuation service. We haven't had any reason to particularly change it or look elsewhere. As far as I know, it's been good. There was a question, I think at one time we communicated about getting you were looking at new trucks for I believe it was for the recycle, that had a bit more contained dump on it.
Right, we've actually spent, in the last 2 years, we've spent almost $8 million on new equipment. I have, let's see, I have 15 vehicles, new vehicles in my fleet since the beginning of 2010. So, yeah, we've made a substantial investment for our service areas. The oldest frontline truck I have in my fleet right now is a 2006, and virtually all of our trucks, once the material is placed into the truck and compacted, it's contained within the vehicle, so it's virtually eliminated any litter problems that we had in the past, and those trucks operate here in the Sky Valley along with other places in our service area. So.
I kind of do have one little question. I'm a volunteer firefighter, and at the Station 54, which is manned all the time, I'm a recycler, and it absolutely makes me crazy to see all the stuff that is not recycled. But when I've asked about why we don't have a recycle bin there, they said it costs something like $300 a month to have a recycle bin at the fire station because it's considered a commercial building. And that would, I mean, those guys go through bottles of water, I mean, just at an incredible rate.
Let me check on that for you. It could be that expensive, but if the capacity, I can't imagine that the capacity that you need is really large there.
And probably,
It's gotta be close to what we use here.
yeah,
We just have
You
a
guys
little
have
bit bin.
1 yarders here, I believe. Yeah, so let me check on that. That sounds a little high to me. And so maybe there's something.
0 would be nice. I mean, because the fire department is just incredibly strapped.
Okay, let me,
Because our revenues have just gone down with all the
Sure,
property
yeah.
values. And so we are really, really, really hurting for money.
all right, let me,
We look for every little way we can.
yeah, let me take a look at that
Pinch
for
penny.
you. We do a lot of, what we call, service in kind donations. So-
We'll put out a fire in Woodinville for you. We go to Woodinville.
There was a big one a couple of weeks ago.
Sherwood,
So,
yeah, at the storage place. We were there.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
We were there.
Yeah, let me look at that. That's
Yeah, we've had to
probably
play.
something we can do. Let me, I don't get to make the final decision on that, but I
Uh-huh.
have some influence with the person
That'd
who
be
does. So
wonderful.
let me see if I can take a look at that.
Any other questions?
So this contract is, I see the rates may be adjusted every year in January, so this is not a fixed rate contract.
That's correct. Yeah, it's very typical of the contracts we have with other municipalities that we service. Most often in a municipal contract, there's some sort of rate escalator built into the contract. Most of them use what Gold Bars has, which is a rate based on the Consumer Price Index for a fixed period of time. Oftentimes, even the actual CPI schedule is delineated in the contract. It's not in this one, but we use the same one. We use the, I think it's the Seattle, Tacoma, Bremerton. Is that right, Laura? Yeah. And so then we do, it's essentially an arithmetic calculation that we do, and then we bring that to the city, and I believe you guys have to pass an ordinance, right, to adopt the new rates. I think that's how it's
No, we do resolution.
Okay, different cities do it different ways, but, yeah, and it's, basically, it covers our increase in cost. Fuel's been a real tough one. Any of you that are involved in transportation, you know, fuel's been real tough the last couple of years. So it just helps us kind of stay even, really, in terms of the increasing costs. So that's how that works. And we're very happy with the terms of the contract that we currently have with you folks. And it allows for a 5-year extension. And we're more than happy to just extend the contract as it is, no rate increases other than the annual CPI. It works pretty well for us, and we're pretty happy with it the way it is, so. And we appreciate Gold Bar's business, for sure.
I can't seem to find it now, but I was reading as a few minutes ago about compaction. Oh, yes, it's the third letter. So that's an issue, or is that a part of this contract, or is that, are you asking,
I don't know.
No, the city does not compact.
no, it's elementary school, and that's not a part of our budget.
That's not a part of our budget,
So,
no.
okay, that's what I wanted to know.
Are they still compacting? I didn't see a compactor back there, but maybe they do.
You know, to be honest with you, I don't know whether
Okay.
the school has a
But
contract or not.
that's
I'd have to
a
check.
Charlton school, so. In fact, I think they pick them a different day, yes.
Is there a reason we could not make a decision tonight on whether or not to renew this contract?
No, there's not a reason why we couldn't make a decision tonight.
So I will propose that we go ahead and extend the contract with Allied Waste.
I'll second that, if that's the motion.
Yeah.
Okay, any subsequent discussion? For 5 years? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That was easy.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your business. We look forward to having a lasting relationship with you folks.
Thank you very, very much.
Thanks.
Okay, the next one is the decision on equipment. You have an email there between me and Tim Ford at the Attorney General's office. We were discussing last week about, about a full computer versus a thumb drive. And he agreed that the thumb drive is fine. And so you just keep everything over the city business on the thumb drive. And at some appropriate time, come in and stick it up on the server. And again, I didn't put that part in there, but drafts are not public records until they get mentioned in a meeting or used to some level of action.
I believe he added it to his response.
Yeah, well, I didn't put the RCW.
Oh, I see.
That's in, that was anyway, but that's, I'll just email that to you so you know what you're looking at. So, the thumb drives are fine, and continue, I think you guys are happy using the thumb drive?
Yeah.
Okay, everybody? Okay, I didn't get you one. I'll get you one. Okay, well, we can move right along then. Okay, this is the, next one is the interlocal emergency management agreement. I don't have that in front of me, Laura. Would you, okay, let's take that along. This is what we have been doing the whole time. This has a tight cooperation between the county and the city. The county has the emergency management staff and facilities. Denise is our liaison. And also, I assume that the fire district has a liaison on the emergency management. And Wendy, yeah. And at times, we have common meetings here where the school district, the city, the fire district, and county come, and we sit and talk over about how to handle different emergencies and such. There's been tabletop exercises. The one that I sat in on was the one assuming that there's an earthquake out east of town, and what's the reservoir north of Sultan? Spada, yes, the Spada Dam doesn't break, but a big rock falls into Lake Spada and water sloshes over and floods Sultan, and they go 40 feet underwater. And it was interesting watching that, how they reacted, and they set up tables around, and this table was the county office, and this other table was the fire district, and this was the Red Cross over there on phones, just like they would be, except they were in the gym. And it was interesting because we did find one thing. Goldbar was involved in it because the water doesn't make it up here. And so I asked him, gee, but if it's a flood there, Goldbar's going to be cut off. You know, he can't get up US 2. I said, oh, no problem. Wenatchee services you guys, so they just come out of the mountain. I said, the epicenter. The epicenter is about, a quarter of a mile from the high bridge. It's just going to be in the Skycomish River when this happens. And they said, oh. And so anyway, so it's finally took a year and a half, but they're now talking about how we would handle an emergency. And I forgot what they call them, but the big containers of supplies in, and truck it in or helicopter it in. And Denise has been working, and Wendy have been working with them to determine where is this going to go. And so they're planning for something like this. And we are scheduled, according to geological history, for a nice earthquake. And when that happens, what they talked about is what's called liquefaction, which means everybody goes, oh, it's like the old Tarzan movies where you fall in quicksand, I guess. But it would be a real bad event. Yeah. Don't know what the probability is, low.
Well, geologically, liquefaction happens just in a certain soil type, because I happen to have been in Alaska, in Anchorage, for the Good Friday earthquake.
Okay.
And it liquefied up there. And so I have seen firsthand what liquefaction does.
What does it do?
It kind of turns it to gel, and what happened in Turnagain Arm is the ground actually slumped off. It's called slumping, and it slumped off in big blocks. It looked like huge ice cubes, but it was soil, and it slumps off.
Were buildings sinking down into the soil? Really?
And that happened on Fifth Street too.
Oh,
Fifth Street,
that's exciting.
Not if you're there.
Which brings up,
There's another side of this, as far as, our particular soil is not necessarily prone to liquefaction, because there's little dirt content, we got rock and sand. So actually, we are in a much better position, at least from a seismic point of view. I mean, but it still wouldn't help High Bridge.
Yeah, okay. Well, then I guess they were preaching, the DEM guys were preaching that, so maybe they were just trying to get us to pay attention.
Liquefaction happens if there's a certain amount of clay in the soil. It's the
Okay.
clay component that is slippery when it gets shaken.
Okay, so we're probably not in that horrible a shape.
What they call it in Alaska is glacier clay, and that's what gives you the problem. And we don't have that kind of geological history here, so I don't think we have any glacier clay in this neck of the woods.
It still doesn't, we don't, not here anyway. But the whole point being is that liquefaction is a problem. And if you've already got that, here we just have to worry about the earthquake itself.
Yeah, okay.
We may not have liquefaction, but
And it's mainly, anything that happens, Goldbar gets cut off, a flood
Oh, yeah.
or an earthquake or something like this, we're pretty much cut off. And so,
We'd be an
island, and so, that's one of the things we've been talking about. We've been trying to talk the Red Cross into just doing a staging area here full time, and I don't think we've gotten very far on that. The city does have some supplies, and we should have plenty of water and firewood, so we should be able to
Well,
survive.
I know at one point the fire district was also making sure that they had, and I believe it was propane and diesel,
Yeah,
so they could at least power generators and keep that kind of stuff going.
yeah.
Food is another issue. But, and food goes bad, so you can't, I mean, you can stockpile it, and then you have to use it up or re-stockpile it, so.
Okay.
So we have talked about it.
All right, so anyway, so we'll, this is an interlocal agreement to re-up, when's it from, to? It's yearly, okay, yeah, here we go.
April 1st, 2010 to 11 was last year,
Okay,
and now this is going,
okay, first day of January
yeah.
and last, okay, first this year.
So the difference from last year to this year is $76.
Yeah,
And it's actually $76 less. So this would be another item that I would probably make a motion that we go ahead and authorize the mayor to sign.
well, a second.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. And I appreciate the geology lesson tonight. I only got bits and pieces.
It was my third major.
Third
Or,
maybe?
no, we had to have 3 sciences. If you were a science major, we had to have 3 sciences, and it was my third science.
Cool.
So it was fun.
Okay.
I enjoyed geology. It's a cool science.
Okay, would you pull up the
Lots of
sidewalk
action.
picture? This is the continuing saga of the sidewalk. We've been trying to work out the corner at 17th and US 2. There's 2 conflicting things. One is providing a driveway for Rico's Pizza, because it's a commercial driveway. Providing a driveway for the single-family residents next to it. And then, trying to keep things far enough away from 17th to be safe. The last time I showed it to you, we'd figured that the safest way was to put an exit on 17th. So you enter on US 2 to Rico's Pizza, exit to 17th. But where I thought there was a clear area wasn't, and it was like a $30,000 hit to rearrange the property to do that, so that went away very quickly. And so, once we made that decision, I went ahead and released it with the 2 driveways. And it went from the project manager to another guy to the engineer doing the design, and it got a little different by the time it came out today. So we're working on resolving the placement of what's called driveway 6 there. And as soon as that is done, then we will get going. And we've had a lot of discussion on there. There was a lot of pushback from the owners and such. And finally, when they saw what was going on, everything was fine. But it's probably going to increase, it has increased our engineering costs. I think we're still probably fine on budget, but we'll be doing some analysis of that for the next council meeting. And last time we did an estimate, we were coming in, the estimate was under the budget that we had for construction. And so we'll, as soon as we finalize the engineering drawings, then we will be able to get another estimate and proceed. Is that, any questions? Okay.
I do have
Yep.
a question.
Sure.
I know you've discussed this previously, but, so driveway 6 as compared to driveway 4 is very narrow.
No, driveway 4 and driveway 6 are both 35-foot driveways. That's the Gold Bar standard. Is the middle driveway 5 is the 20-foot.
Okay.
And it's because it's a single-family residence, which
That's
DOT allows 20 and we do too. And even though it's zone commercial, the DOT says you put a 20-foot driveway at a single-family residence. And it's also 20 feet, the property's 20 feet wide, so you know, I can put a 35-foot driveway.
I had no question about number 5.
Oh, is number 4?
It was just a visual comparison between 6 and 4.
Oh.
It didn't match up to me, but,
Well, that's
if they're both
because,
35 feet, they're.
yeah, both 35 feet. You had pretty crappy grass.
Okay.
Any other questions?
That's it.
Okay. And, okay, reservoir and booster pump station, why don't you bring that up? This is, I gotta give John lots of compliments on this. This has been his number one, number two, and number three priority for about a year now. And this is toward the end. We had the early estimates, we had some O's show up, and some, particularly the construction cost estimated at 900 and something thousand came in $1.1 million, and slurped up all of the contingency. Why don't you scroll down a little bit, okay, good. And then the city, what's in yellow is what the city added that they will pay for out of the water fund. And these are all the things, the 12-inch main, and the SCADA system, and the telemetry, and so forth. And then we had an oopsie, $6,400 oopsie of a stump and concrete vault that had to get moved. And there's another 15,000 up there that the submittals came in, the handling of the project came in a lot higher than estimate, and that's being evaluated by USDA. And the way this works out, the engineering firm works up the changes in prices, send it to us, we look at it, goes to USDA, and they decide whether, they give their ruling on whether it's permissible or not. And then we approve it after that. So that will be coming up after a while to look at. Now scroll down a bit more. The bottom line is, as best we can tell, we took what we spent so far plus what we expect to spend to close out the project, based on what we know now. And the project is coming in, there's still about $50,000 left in it, so I'm real happy. Now, there are still oopsies to go probably, there's the punch list, there's an argument of who pays for the limit switch or adjusting the limit switch, the typical end of project stuff. And John has been working very hard, staying mean with the people. And so it's done a very good job and kept it in. Now, there's $187,000 there. That's what comes out of the water fund and goes to pay for these additional changes. So we will be looking at that. When do you think that all the little oopsies will get cleared up?
As soon as I can push hard enough to get all the parties involved, and Richard and I have been talking about that. You can send emails here, send emails there. It gets to be a pain. We have done some stuff, correspondence, I guess, with subs, and basically Reese is a contractor, Reese owns a project, it's their responsibility, and that's where the last week I've been really shoving toward Reese. We haven't really gotten to the punch list because we're not at that stage yet, but Richard and I know what's gonna be on that punch list. And, they have until, I think, March or April, they have to be done. We're ready to give them a substantially complete letter, which probably helps out on their bonding and stuff. So far, I haven't approved that or brought it to the mayor and the council to approve that, because anytime you get some components that are mechanical, some components are electronics, you have mismatches and some software and stuff like that. So, and until Richard and I can get down pat, what's this alarm mean? Because they're getting a lot of alarms, which they shouldn't be getting. There's some, like I said, some mechanical stuff overriding other stuff. And so I would say, within a month, we should be really close. We're close now. Everything's being run out of the new booster pump station. The pumps come on, the pumps go off the way they're supposed to be. The altitude control valve, and the mayor was talking about a limit switch, and we might decide to change that to full system switch, so we and Richard have more control over how we regulate the turn on, shut off, the new tank and stuff like that. But I'd say a month, and then it'll be punch list time. They'll have some hydro seeding to do, and they got some painting to do, and Probably have to change some of the brass that's, you know, dripping, not much. But, you know, I want a tight system, you guys want a tight system, Richard wants a tight system, so do you feel comfortable with that, Richard?
Yeah.
No, no. But it's close. You know, it's close. In a month, you know, I'm looking longer than what it should take, because I like to come back and sooner to the council than later.
And I'm sure Reach Trucking would like to get it done sooner than later too, so they could wrap it up and get on to the next
So,
project.
100% of the time, there's gonna be punch list items, we all know that.
Yeah.
No job is perfect. But I think my understanding was that this is a turnkey project for that vendor, that
Yes.
contractor, right? So the quote-unquote oopsies should be covered by the contractor. We should not,
Go ahead.
I'm just telling you from my experience, you know, you don't get the keys until it's done and it's operational and there are no alarms and the training's been done, the software upgrades have been done, everything's ready to go. They come, they drop the keys off at your door after they train you, and then we write them a check. But I would hate to see change orders coming across for something that should have been covered on a punch list.
Okay.
There's, you know, when we write the punch list, it's their responsibility to pay for those items on the punch list.
He's not talking about punch lists, he's talking about other stuff. I'll give you the
And,
example.
and if you look at what we have gotten on a $2 million project, a $2 million project, and so far we have a grand total oopsie of $6,000. I think that's pretty unheard of on a $2 million project.
Pretty good percentage.
The thing that you talk about, for example, here's one that's gonna probably get an argument. We have a valving system. Okay, when they started working, the valving system shattered. You didn't have enough history system. Okay, so probably we're gonna have to change the valve, which is spec'd as a bang-bang control, to proportional control. Now, you said do a bang-bang, we did, so it's not my problem. And I'm gonna charge you for it with the proportional valve in. And then, so, you know, you get one of those sort of areas that's where, you know, we start talking and negotiating. That's sort of an example. I don't know how that's covered or not. We found, for example, the soft start on the motor. They were utilizing the existing equipment, so they were using the soft start on pump.
And that's 75 horsepower.
75 horsepower motor got for the pumps. And it's a 17-year-old soft start. So we get everything done and put it in, and guess what happens to the 17-year-old soft starts? So it looks like that one has sort of gone the way of all flesh during this process, and I don't know if we can sneak that in under here or not, or if that comes over on the pocket. So there's a couple of areas in there like that that's gonna have some technical discussion with it. And John's quite aware of it, and he's been very tough on the people so far, and I haven't had to get involved at all. So if he needs a backdrop, I'm there. And I gotta brag, nothing caught on fire yet, so see where I hit a bullet.
No fires, we like it. But you can always call me.
Okay, so this is the update, and we will continue to let you know, like during the month of February, we should get a good solid final handle, and March is party time. Thank you, John.
Thank you, Council. It's been 7 years, close to 8 years in this project.
Hey. Speed of government.
FEMA update number 6, right? 'Cause it's not.
Oh, yeah, that's the FEMA stuff, why don't you pull that up? Oh, I don't know, why don't you pull the email, that's about it. You have, attacker, this is just the email from Martin King, I'll explain it quickly. Everybody's suing everybody else again on the biological option, and they're in negotiating for settlement or something or another. The involvement of the city is, the AWC suggested that the cities get involved in this lawsuit to protect their interests. Sultan is because they've got some big levers that this is going to affect how they do things. Gold Bar, I don't see as having any stroke here or anything that we can contribute that would cost us money. So I'll let you read this. I'm not sure if there's a timeline on it. We have seen effects of this rule, the 250-foot offset. Already had 2 people talk about what they want to do with their property, and we basically said, no, you can fix what you got, but that's it. And so that is going to be a continuing problem for Gold Bar, but I don't see any of these changes making much of a difference on that.
Why wouldn't we just wait and let this shake out before we?
That's about it. I mean, you know, Sultan's got a full-time planning guy, and he gets into this and all these other things, and that's what he does to the exclusion of anything else. And they can bring some weight to it, they can do the background work. And I think places like City of Everett and Snohomish County are really banging on it. So, but just wanted to keep you up, take a look at it if you think we need to do something. I already told Maria, I don't think Gold Bar should be included, but she said, you know, ask the council. I said, yes, ma'am. And we don't have to make a decision tonight, but if you have a comment, you got my email address. Okay. So, do that, and the next is minutes approval for October the 26th. We'll pull that up.
2010.
Oh, yeah. That was a,
That's a good year.
that's a good year. Yeah, that was one we found. That was, we're a little slow on the uptake on this one. This was the executive session back then. Let's see, Chris, you were in it. Davey, were you? I don't think.
It says I was there.
Oh, okay, well, oh, there it is, yeah.
Yeah.
So the 2 people here tonight, just Davey and Chris.
I'll make a motion, we approve the minutes for October 26, 2010.
Can't we correct that?
Correct it, what do you mean? Oh, you want a second, then? What's your question?
Did we really, was it really from 2010?
Yes, yes.
Oh. I thought that was a typo.
No.
It was 2011. Okay, I will second that.
Okay.
Yep.
There's not much to say, it was a special meeting for
That's true, because
executive
Morales
session.
was here.
Okay. And
Why would Davy Martin be there in 2010?
Because I was,
She was there.
yeah,
I started when?
Way back?
July
July
27th.
2010. And it had to be 2010 because Broyles wasn't here on October 26th of 2011.
Yeah, and there was the full, you know, meeting notification and everything. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Epstein.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, now we go to payroll. All right, Ken, this is your bailiwick.
Yes. Yes. It's been a while, I had some work, but, anyway. So. I guess I make the motion that we, approve payroll vouchers 5020 through 5024 for $4,300. 2011 vouchers 17045 through 17065 for $29,665.50. And 2012 vouchers 17042 through 17044 and 17066 through 17078 for $71,777.30 for a grand total of $105,742.80.
Okay. Give a second.
I'll second.
Okay, now it's discussion time. Any questions? The warrants are up on the internet and everything.
I did not have a chance to look at them, so
Yeah.
Well, the finance group went through it, right?
We went through it. I had some questions. One of the things, so on voucher 17051, the question came up, and I guess this is just a discussion, isn't really relevant to the approval of the voucher, but the question was, how much would we save if we lit only 50% of those lights?
Oh,
Is
the
that
street lights. Okay, I don't have the number off the top of my head. We looked at this, was it 2 years ago? Because I know Kelly was involved in it. And we get charged to turn off the light. And I think we get charged about somewhere between 1 and 2 years runtime, depends on the wattage. Because the way the lights work, they're hot wired, and they've got the sensor, the light sensor at the top. And the way you turn them off is the guy drives up the truck, gets on the lift, takes it down. I think it's $85 to take it out and $85 to restart it. And at the time, we added some street lights because there was some dark spots, and they felt it was, public safety sort of issue. That's always iffy a little bit, but that was the primary driving behind it. But yeah, it'll cost us a big hit to turn them off.
So it would cost more to turn them off than you would gain, at least in the short term?
At least in the short term. I don't remember exactly, but I remember it was pretty shocking when we got the number, and I called TUD. And because somebody said, oh, we did it back in 19 whatever, and it didn't cost us anything. And so I called him, he said, yeah, that's right, we did it for free. And then he said, we figured out what it cost us to turn it off. We didn't do that again. So and I would have to call him again because I don't remember the number, but I remember it was an eye opener.
Yeah, so I guess, so that came up in the finance committee, so I wanted to review that, and it would be beneficial, I think, to have some numbers, so we can determine the payback period, so we can actually look at it at some point in the future. So voucher 17045, I think that's the one here, where we had a payment of balance due, and so the question, I don't know, I have a question mark here about payments of balance due. Do you,
17045.
I believe it's either 45 or 46, I think it was 45.
Okay, on the reservoir and booster pump station
That's probably it, yeah.
for Pace Engineering,
Yes, I believe that's it.
because they changed from Human Collier Wave.
So what does that balance do, or where did that come from? It's a carryover, but
It's a carryover because, it's a carryover from their other company name. So they didn't bill us with Human Collier Wave, but they had it in their system to bill us. So when they changed over to Pace Engineering, their new system, it came over as a balance due.
Okay, when it came over to balance due, since they hadn't billed us before, did we get oh yeah, that's one of those payment things we get in this.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we get, the form for it comes in early, it comes in, they tell us it's coming, they send it to USDA blesses it, sends it back to us, and we, sign it, and then it goes out, and then it becomes a bill, so, and that's the process that we go through.
yeah, so part of the issue is on the finance committee, so we get these balance dues and we don't know where they came from, so.
Yeah, well, what happened, you did it this Monday, which was a holiday, and Laura wasn't here, and that's always a problem, because I can help a little bit,
Right.
but, yeah, and so, probably what we talked about doing before was if you have a question like that, Laura's not available, email her specific questions. And that way, when it comes up to the meeting, she can go ahead and have it researched.
Oh, yes, okay. We'll take that into consideration.
Yeah, and then when she's here, just yell at her. everybody else does.
And we were back again for Kenyon Decent.
Yeah.
Again, they had another balance due, and
Oh, yeah.
this is 17060, no, 17061 is where I'm at actually. We had a balance due of $4,452.20 and a partial payment, and we just weren't certain, again, whether our books are clean, whether we're getting billed again for something we've already paid. I don't understand how they carry things forward.
I need to know a check number.
Yeah. 17061.
Okay, it was for the current work, which was $743.46. Previous balance was $4,452.20. I only paid what the current charges were.
So, I mean, so do they keep carrying that forward then? Is that?
What happens is they don't receive the check until after they're sending out their invoices.
Oh, so we've already paid them the $4,000,
Yeah.
but they just haven't put it into their system yet.
That was my question.
Checks in the mail.
I understand that because that happens in other areas. That is understandable.
And because of the way I have to hold them until after the council meeting, it happens quite frequently.
Yeah, so we had that on a couple of the Kenyon Decent claims, so that does make sense.
Now, the thing about it, on bias, you can print out the payment history. So, again, if Laura was here, she could have printed out a report that would have made it very clear. And,
The new system makes it even more clear.
makes it even more clear? Good, good.
Can I make for the finance committee, obviously that would probably help if you had a full report. Because the explanation before the last explanation was absolute jumble to me and I didn't understand a word of it. Pace Engineering,
Hammond
Collier Wade, it's just,
has in their system.
but the way you just explained it,
Yeah.
I don't know how anybody could understand that.
Okay, let me take a
There has to be a better way to explain or give an
Yeah.
answer for that amount of money. I didn't understand a word of it, I'm just telling you.
Trying to think. I'm not sure an easy one. Laura has to be here, otherwise you get a stack of paper this big, okay? And you only need this sheet, or maybe this sheet and that sheet. So,
If we print out the reports for the finance committee, 90% of the questions won't even be
yeah,
an
but if you
issue.
print out all reports, it's about this thick. So,
Okay.
we only need to print out the reports if there's gonna be questions, which we don't know what the questions are. Maybe she can anticipate it, particularly if there's balance forwards and things like that, if you could anticipate it. And since the report's pretty easy,
But we'll take into consideration the fact that we'll just, if she's not present, we'll send her an email and
Yeah.
cover it that way.
that's probably the easiest way to do it. And otherwise, if she is present, then she can go type on the computer, here's your report.
Right.
Does that sound good to you? Okay.
Okay, no further discussion.
So should we cancel all holidays for the rest of the year?
Yes.
Ooh.
Actually, we do that at Bowling Green.
Mine got canceled.
Okay, any other questions about the,
No further discussion.
any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Thank you very much. Okay. We're down to citizen comments. Bottom here. Okay, citizen comments. Oh, here he comes again.
Wood 309 First Avenue West, Gold Bar. Does the city have a shoreline master plan?
Yes, we do. Well, we have we have a draft one in work.
Who's working on it?
What's the name of the company, John?
Pace.
No,
Oh, no, APHW or something?
AH.
AHBL.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, yes.
Are they drawing the maps that indicate where the floodplain is?
No, well, they're drawing maps to indicate where the floodplain is. FEMA is in the process of drawing maps where the floodplains are, and they got whacked by Startup. And Startup said, I don't care what you said, the railroad is a really good levee. And then and FEMA said, can't be a levee because it's got paperwork. And then somebody found something from who knows when that says the Corps of Engineers said, yeah, it's a levee. And so that put FEMA in a tailspin. And so they started a whole new project to, what was it? They had a jargon for it, that's a levee that's not a levee. And so they are now going back through and incorporating all the levees that are not levees, but really are levees.
Does that affect us in Goldberg?
No, not really. There is that, they've already blessed the, no, they haven't. I guess they haven't blessed the levee up there by the Wolfpack. Because I believe the floodplain goes on down. I have to look at it again.
What I'm interested in is that map that you put the yellow marker on.
That's different from the floodplain.
That's the 215-foot.
That's a 250 foot.
Is the 250-foot mark cast in stone? In other words, it will be
As
250
far
feet?
as anybody knows, yes.
Who answers that question?
That's
FEMA?
an excellent question. FEMA seems to answer it, but they're not returning anybody's phone calls, including the last time I talked to the county. You know, they're just about the same shape we're in.
Who could I talk to, or where could I go to get information before it's finalized as to what
I
the
could
plans
give
are?
you, I'll give you the contact, John Graves
At FEMA?
at FEMA.